My name is Charlie McGrath. I'm the founder of WideAwakeNews.com and a host on the Rinse Radio Network. Tonight, as I make this video, tens of thousands of protesters are in the streets of Italy this time. Italy's protesting their new austerity package. It was just a few weeks ago, Berlusconi came out saying he had an austerity package that was going to guarantee the debt of Italy. Markets loved it, rallied for a few weeks. Then when it was found out it was a complete and total failure, he came up with Berlusconi 2.0, another austerity package. Tens of thousands of people in the streets. The problem in Greece is still the problem in Greece. We hear it's fixed a year ago. We hear it's fixed 4 more times since then. And the fact of the matter is they're closer to default now than they ever have been. The problem in Greece isn't going away. Spain, Portugal, Ireland, all the problems are still there. The only thing that's changed is the sovereign debt has increased in all these nations. Just like here in the United States, we go from $9 trillion in 2007 to $16 trillion right now, at least the ability to go $16 trillion in debt. So we're going to enter this depression. We're going to enter this sovereign debt depression. And the reason I say sovereign like that and emphasize it is because a few years ago, for the most part, this wasn't sovereign debt. This was too big to fail debt. And all the extraordinary measures that happened since then, all the bailouts, all the guarantees, all the alphabet programs to save the economy, all the stimulus packages, all the things too numerous to mention that have occurred in the last 3 years in this country and around the world has led to these massive, massive sovereign debt loads. In other words, we've taken the failure of the too bigs and put it on the people of the world. In 2010, I said that the catchphrase, the word of the year in 2011 is austerity, and it is here. Now I'm telling you the word is civil unrest. It is here and it is spreading. It is spreading because people around the globe see their leadership buckling under the pressure of these too big to fail banksters. None of them offering a solution, only promising more and more debt. If you think it's different here, it's time to wake up. The reality of it is this. We have all this drama to increase the debt ceiling. What did we get out of it? Another almost $2 trillion in debt, and more importantly, the creation of the apparatus in order to implement austerity onto you, the American people. This super Congress, this body of 12 that will be able to slash and burn the middle class in this country in the name of saving the economy. But when we say saving the economy, we better point out who the economy is. You're not the economy. You're nothing more than a debt slave in this economy. The economy of the same above-mentioned too big to fails to date who have not faced 1 day of prosecution, not 1 day in prison for the crimes they committed not only against this country but around the planet. And in fact, deals are being cut right now in order to limit their exposure to things like the robo-signing scandal. That's right, they're going to cut another big fat deal for the banking industry so they don't have to be hampered with multiple lawsuits. As millions of people are foreclosed on and jobs are lost around this country at record numbers, these guys are cutting yet another fat hog. Nobody's talking about the only solution that could possibly work. The only solution that works for humanity is a forgiveness of debt. It's to have leadership with the courage to call the bluff of the too big to fails. To get the other leaders of the globe together and say, we know we can't pay this debt back. We know that it's impossible. And we know that the only plan we have is to increase the debt and decrease the burdens of our citizens. But that isn't going to happen here. And it's not going to happen in Italy or Germany or Ireland or France. It's not going to happen in any of these places because the lock hold that the too big to fail have on leadership around the planet. We are entering into this global depression. Like it or not, I'm not fear-mongering. Goldman Sachs comes out just a few days ago with an article saying the exact same thing. We're on the verge of another crisis. Norio Rubini backs it up by saying it's going to be worse than we saw in anything in 2008. The only thing that we can do at this point is demand accountability from the too big to fail and demand accountability from our so-called leadership. Demand it not right now because we know we're not going to get it, but demand it on the backside of this collapse. We are going to be offered a solution. This solution will be an anvil around the necks of humanity on planet Earth. It will be nothing more than condemning the population of this planet into being nothing more than indentured servants, living in sharecropper type status to serve the too big to fail who brought us here in the first place. We have to keep in mind what brought us here, what led us to the position we're in, and on the backside of this, when collapse is obvious to everybody on this planet, everybody who's awake right now must be out there forerunning, forerunning the propaganda machine, saying, no, why we're here and this is what we can do about it. We need to demand an absolution, a forgiveness of debt. We need to put the people, the million people who've lost their homes in 2011 alone, we need to put them back into their homes, not give them to Freddie and Fannie so they can be rented out to people around this country, creating more indentured servants. The answer isn't more government. The answer isn't more too big to fail. If we'd have let this thing come apart in 2008, just going back a brief time ago, how much further would we be down the road towards recovery right now? If we had people in prison in orange jumpsuits brought before the cameras, put on trial, held accountable for these monster derivatives they've created that have sunk the economies of the world, how much further along would we be right now? People around the planet are the same. They want to get on with their life. They want to live a middle-class existence, raise their families, and be kind to their neighbors as they would have them be unto them. But that isn't who controls this world, this planet. That isn't who controls our representatives, regardless of the country that you fill in the blank with. These too big to fail must be brought down. They must not be allowed to implement their plan, and their plan is clear. Jean-Claude Trichet said in 2009, an end to the dollar, a creation of a global financial governance. It can't get any more clear than that. This is the path we are on. Those of you who are awake now, you need to remain vigilant with the message, because everybody's going to be awake pretty soon. Stories are attached. That's all I got.